Tom pulled up to the rest stop on the side of the highway, parking his car and turning off the engine. It was almost midnight, and while the streetlights illuminated his surroundings, their yellow glow seemed dim, prone to casting deeper shadows, making the street and the single buildings seem somehow old and worn out. He looked around but could not see June anywhere. She had reached out to Tom, desperate, saying something about her date that night frightening her, only to ditch her at the rest stop when she refused to go home with him. "Can you pick me up?" she had pleaded when she called. Tom had been thrown off by this. The two of them weren't even close, just peripheral members of an overlapping friend group, and she had come across as too reserved a girl to be going on a late-night date with a guy that made her feel uncomfortable, much less afraid. But when he had heard the distress in her voice, he got dressed and made his way to her. She didn't answer her phone after he parked, so he got out of the car and headed to the lone building on the side of the highway. "June?" he called out. She didn't answer or appear. Truth be told, a few of their mutual friends had mentioned to Tom that June had been acting strange recently. The reserved girl had started to ask people for help at random hours of the day, requesting that they deliver packages to her, help move furniture for her, or just stop by to talk to her. Of course, that had been a few weeks ago. He hadn't heard much from that friend group recently, but he could only assume that the quiet girl June was struggling with something she might have difficulty talking about, and was reaching out in all directions for support. He heard someone approaching from behind, and turned around. "June?" he asked. It wasn't June. Several minutes later, after Tom's scream had been cut short, after the sound of his body being dragged away faded into the long shadows cast by the dull yellow streetlights, June emerged from the interior of the rest stop bathroom, clutching herself in fear. She had bought herself time. It wouldn't follow her right after it had taken Tom, though the amount of time it would buy her had been decreasing, just as their list of friends had been decreasing the past month. She looked down at the curb, where the yellow light made the red blood Tom had left behind appear black, and saw Tom's car keys, which he grabbed without hesitation. She would drive somewhere, far away from this rest stop, and maybe it would lose her trail. But to be safe, she would drive somewhere she still had friends.